Hello there, and welcome to this little tutorial. Really, this is a walkthrough on how to create a nice, simple jazz style registration for your Genos, and you can play any sort of jazz standard slow piece with this. So what I'm using here today is the Big Band Ballad. Okay, and what I've done is turned off phrase 2. Phrase 2 becomes a little bit tiresome and annoying. So here's the first registration we have, and we're using that lovely vibraphone. A really super sound. Okay, so that's just on registration 1, and we've got the style with the part muted. Now the point of this is we're building the registration up. So the voices, so for the second registration we now go and bring in strings in the left hand. Now the one downside to this particular keyboard really is the strings. I never liked the strings in this, apart from the old sound that you used to have on your Tyros 3, 2, 4, 5. And if you go into the folder called Legacy, which is just Legacy, and then go to Strings, and then page 4, you have this nice strings voice. It's more of a paddy sort of string than a... a nice voice. And that's what we're using in the left hand to pad out. Now I always recommend using this particular string voice because it just adds warmth. And then on registration 3, we've moved to a saxophone. And that super articulation is just fabulous. It could play that all day. It's such a great sound. And don't forget, this keyboard is now 5 years old. It's recently celebrated its birthday, but it's 5 years old. It's incredible. And even now, it still is probably number one in the arranger keyboard market. People still buy this instrument brand new. And rightly so. It's a fabulous bit of kit. Okay. So, before I wax lyrical about the Genos, let's go to registration 4. Because what we've done is we've brought the vibraphone player back into the room with the saxophonist. And then on registration 5, we've gone into the brass section and we've picked the Super Articulation 2 Flugel. Now this voice still has those articulations. And of course you got these articulation buttons over here, 1, 2 and 3. Number 2 adds a little slide, adds a little bend. Number 1. And then number 6. Now the way I use these registrations is I go from 1 to 5 for the first time through. Because let's face it, you don't need 10 registrations unless you're doing something quite advanced for a normal sort of easy ballad sort of style of jazz. So the second time through I use 6 to 10. And again, most incredible jazz guitar. And again, using the nice ballad. And then if I go to registration number 7, I bought the vibraphone player in now with a jazz guitar. And don't forget, we've added the strings in the Legacy page 4, well, it's just called strings. And it gives this warmth. Without it, with, and don't forget, obviously you turn this on and off while you're playing. You don't have to have it on all the time. And then number 8, what we've done is we bought one of the phrases, the phrase 1, back in to the left and to the backing. So we've got this trombone in the background. And then number 9. Now this is quite a different way. In very old sort of, I say very old, not that old, but certainly older style of sort of orchestral sort of easy jazz stuff, a low piano will appear. And all I've done here is added the piano, which is the C7 Pop Grand. And in the effects, in the mixer, I've gone into EQ and really increased the high EQ to 39. And then the reverb is now set to 61. Give this really dark, moody. So that's an interesting thing alone. And then in number 10, And there you have it. It's really simple. The voicing, I mean, this thing is so easy to manipulate and to play. And it really is one of those keyboards where you sit down and you sit and play for hour upon hour upon hour. And I keep saying this many times. It's 5 years old. There is hopefully Genos 2 or something new and refreshing to come out and play, because let's face it, I mean, after 5 years it would be lovely to add something to it. So a son of, child, daughter of Genos would be lovely, but this is a great keyboard, it really is. And the voicing, as I say, always stick to voicing that's based around the style of music that you're playing. Never go and venture off and add something like a sitar or something bizarre. These voices are all very jazz orientated. Of course, vibraphone, and then you've got your strings added, but the most wonderful tenor. Of course, those super articulations really do add. Like I say, for this sort of music, you could literally sit and play this for hour upon hour upon hour. You can download the registration from the Genos Club, which is patreon.com/Genos Club, or you can simply just follow this tutorial and enter all of these voices in and try and match and balance accordingly. Until next time, take care. I'm going to do a actual little mini sort of here's Genos after 5 years, and I'm going to go through the things that Yamaha introduced into this keyboard and the voicing and the styles and all the great stuff that's in here, and have a look at how far things have moved on today, because considering this is 5 years old, it's amazing to see new keyboards coming out with features that this had 5 years ago. 5 years, and again, it's incredible to see how other manufacturers have kind of followed this. They've looked out and thought, oh well, we should add this maybe. The only one thing I don't like about this, and I keep saying this time, I hate this joystick. The problem with the joystick, okay, is for the modulation, because with a modulation wheel, I can actually move the wheel and leave it in a position. So if I've got a guitar and I'm using the modulation wheel, I can actually leave it. Whereas with this, once you've pushed it, you let go, it just springs back. I hate it. It's a horrible, horrible thing. I much prefer wheels. So if Yamaha, you're watching this, as a player, I just find this really cheap and nasty. I don't like it. I'm always concerned when it goes in the flight case, because again, it's easy to snap. Whereas wheels are solid, they're trusted, they're tried, and there are a reason that they make wheels, because they work. So there you go. Anyway, until next time, I hope you've enjoyed this little sort of walk around the Genos jazz voices. But I say that takes some beating, and certainly the jazz guitar. Okay, until next time, look after yourself and all the best.